What's up Cloud Gamers, welcome to the Cloud Gaming Extreme channel, your destination for all things cloud gaming. And welcome to the July Stadia Pro Games Showcase. I've had a go with the 4 games added to the lineup this month, and I'll be sharing some gameplay and my thoughts on the games in this video today. Before we get into it, as always, I'll ask you all a little favour. Drop us a wee like on the video, hit subscribe and ring those bells so you don't miss out on any more great content. Let's kick off with Street Power Football. Straight up, I don't have many nice things to say about this game unfortunately. I made my way through the tutorials of each game mode, which we'll go over here, but from there, nothing convinced me to carry on playing. First up, when moving around it feels so janky and unresponsive. It's as if I'm moving in blocks or playing at like 15 frames per second. Switching the Stadia controller from a Wi-Fi connection to a wired connection made no difference. It seems it's just the gameplay itself which isn't very smooth at all. One good thing though is the arcade style of the game. I'm all for this style and I think it fits very well with what they are trying to do here. Moving on to the game modes then, and first up we have Trick Shot, which is kinda cool. Probably the only game mode I'd play again. You move the arrow around and attempt to hit targets. It's a neat idea, very simplistic in its nature, and once you get used to the controls, I could see it being sort of fun. Moving on to the next game mode then, which is Freestyle. And while we are moving in, you see this load screen, or cut scene if you prefer. It's an absolute mess. It's skipping around, the resolution is all over the place, and this was the same throughout between each game mode. Freestyle is a simple combination plus timing mode. Great if you enjoy this sort of thing, but for me, I can't do these quick combinations and timing. It's really not my cup of tea, therefore it was not very enjoyable at all. So we'll swiftly move on to the Pana game mode. This is where it gets even more complicated, and what doesn't help is the tutorial isn't exactly clear. It tells me to complete the combination that you see on screen just now, so naturally I am pressing X and then pushing left on the thumbstick, but nothing is happening. After some messing around, it turns out it's directional input first, which you have to hold, and then press X. And you have to do this over and over again and try and win this battle so that you can pana your opponent, which every time it happens just seems to be a nutmeg. Great if you enjoy the combination and timing again, but it's a no from me. So we make it to the 2v2s and the 3v3 game modes. Finally, it's something decent I'm thinking. It's more of my cup of tea, but I just couldn't enjoy this at all. We come back again to the janky movements and the unresponsive gameplay. At times my players were running through the ball when attempting to recover possession, and all of this combined made me just quit where I was, as I know I am not going to enjoy the gameplay any further, especially with these issues that I'm having. But the great thing about Stadia Pro, there is always more games to choose from. So we move on to the Darkside Detective. This is what I would call a great wee game. Very simplistic, easy to navigate, you point and click, read the dialogue and look around for clues etc. Missions, or in this game case files, aren't too long to complete. The humour in the game is on point. I laughed out loud a good couple of times when I was reading through the dialogue. In the first case, you have to find someone's missing daughter, and as you progress, it gets stranger and leads away into a more dark side. It's not too dark though, in case anyone is wondering. It is very humorous in nature. I don't want to spend too much time on it, in case you haven't played it and I spoil the story, but I highly recommend the game. It's really easy to jump in and out of, and I will definitely be playing more of it, and it's a great addition to the Pro library. Another great addition is Moonlighter. This roguelite action RPG hits me as a great game you can jump in and out of at your leisure. The premise is really simple. Crawl through dungeons and slay monsters that stand in your way, pick up the items they drop, take them back to your shop and sell them. Now the thing when it comes to selling the items that I love is that you have to guess what price everything should be in the beginning based on the customer's facial reactions. Depending on stock numbers, you can get away with lowering and raising the prices of your items. The old supply and demand situation is in play here. The more common the item, the lower the price. The rarer the item, the higher the price. You can craft potions and the likes to help you get further in the dungeons as you progress, but I haven't made it that far yet as I kept dying in the dungeons. Before I remembered, you have an amulet that can teleport you out of the dungeon with all your items still intact. So when you're nearing death, no health potions left, the amulet is always there to help bail you out. Another good wee addition to the Pro library, definitely one you should have a go at, and definitely one I will be playing again. Oh dear, here we go. Terraria is the final Stadia Pro game this month, and this game, like many others similar in style, infuriates me. I love playing loads of different types of games, but this particular sandbox style that gives you absolutely zero tutorials, not even the sniff of a hint to begin with, annoys me so much. It's such a great looking game and I really want to get into it, but I don't want to spend hours learning how to do everything in the beginning, all through trial and error. If you have the time, by all means crack on, and I know for one that it is a very popular game in the PC space, so many people have done so already. Unfortunately though, I don't have hours to spend on one particular game, and therefore I cannot really give a reasonable review or opinion of it other than please give me some sort of hint or any type of tutorial to get me started. That way I'll more than happily invest more time in the game. Other than that, not much to say on this one as it hasn't changed since the first time I tried to play it a while back, but I did fly a kite for a wee bit though, which was as much as I figured out how to do. So we'll wrap this up here folks. Moonlighter and the Darkside Detective are great wee games in my opinion. Street Power Football and Terraria however, not so much. Plenty other games to keep me going though. So I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on these. If not, tell me why in the comments below. Remember to keep an eye on all of our social channels for the latest cloud gaming news, tech reviews, comparisons and gameplay. Until next time then folks, stay safe and keep on gaming.